When I am born, I don't cry. Mia thinks she has a perfectly obedient baby on her hands. Every day, between feedings of breast milk and formula, my favorite thing to do is stare at the ceiling. At first, Mia assumes her child is just shy and introverted. Little does she know, the reason I zone out is because there is a system interface in my head, constantly nudging me to evolve. After a satisfying bottle of milk, the interface shows my energy bar is full. But then, a new alert flashes across the interface and snaps me to attention. First evolution unlocked. Please select an evolution path. 3 options appear, each looking decent enough, and I fall into thought. Option 1, rapid growth. It offers a 10% boost to development speed, but it doesn't excite me enough. Options 2 and 3 both raise base stats, and it's hard to decide right away which one suits me better. From their names alone, it's clear they lead down 2 very different paths. After 3 whole seconds of agonizing, I think back to my previous life as a content blogger, constantly hounded by followers demanding new posts, staying up past 3 in the morning on a regular basis, until my body was worn down and falling apart. That was when I realized a strong, healthy body is the foundation of everything. So I focus my mind into the interface, and select the human-beast evolution path. My physique stat jumps to 2, and I immediately feel the changes ripple through my body. My breathing deepens and steadies, my mind sharpens, the drowsiness gone, and then my stomach growls louder than ever. But what truly surprises me is my eyesight. I can now clearly make out the news broadcast playing on the LCD screen across the room. I stare wide-eyed at the screen, and without thinking, shove my little fist into my mouth, gnawing away happily. But just as I am completely absorbed, the screen goes dark. Mia has turned it off. She also pulls my slobbery fingers out of my mouth. She is puzzled. Surely a baby only 1 week old can't actually be watching TV? She studies me carefully, and notices my eyes are unusually bright and alert. She picks me up and moves away from the screen, saying as she goes, "No TV for babies, it'll hurt your eyes." Inside, I am screaming, I want to watch. My eyes are perfectly fine. Mia expects me to burst into tears at being denied, but all I do is pout. Delighted, she leans down and plants a big kiss on my cheek. I turn my face away, speechless. With the mental age of a 17-year-old, I am not exactly comfortable with this kind of affection. But Mia takes my turning away as encouragement and gets even more excited. Does my baby want mommy to kiss the other cheek too? And she goes in for another one. Just then, a wave of intense hunger hits me. I open my mouth and let out 2 token cries, then settle back down and wait patiently while Mia prepares the formula. Over the past few days, Mia and I have developed our own unspoken system. Dry crying means I'm hungry. If I need a change, I cry while tugging at my diaper. A baby who can communicate its needs so clearly not only spares everyone a lot of confusion, but also makes life much easier for the mother. Mia stirs the formula and sighs contentedly. If only raising Coco had been this easy. At the sound of that name, my cheek twitches and my expression goes slightly stiff. Mia presses the bottle into my hands with a grin. "Well, little one, why the face when you hear your sister's name?" I say nothing and latch onto the nipple. The bottle is empty before long, but I still feel unsatisfied. I pat my mouth and let out one more cry. Only after downing a second bottle in one go, do I let out a satisfied milky burp. As my appetite keeps growing, the energy bar climbs at 2% per day. At this rate, I should hit my second evolution within a month. Just then, a girl of 7 or 8 comes bouncing through the door. Her school uniform skirt is all crumpled, her white knee socks caked in dirt, and she's wearing a pair of little red leather shoes that clack loudly against the floor with every step. Mia takes one look at her and glares. "Which classmate did you fight with this time?" The girl lifts her chin with pride. "I'm improving. Today I took on 2. Mia goes back to work in the kitchen, scolding her daughter the whole time. Coco pouts defiantly but says nothing, her eyes wandering around the room. Then she spots me staring at her. I am grinning, but it's the kind of grin that carries a hint of mockery. She lets out a short laugh, flashing her little fangs, then shakes her fist at me, a clear warning to back off. Marcus walks in just then. He moves to pick me up, but Mia wrinkles her nose at the smell of cigarettes on him. Left with no choice, he rolls up his sleeves and heads into the kitchen to help. Before long, the whole family sits down together for dinner. Halfway through the meal, Marcus opens the fridge and reaches into the freezer, pulling out a few small things that look like candy. I assume they're treats for the cats, but Marcus drops one into Mia's bowl, Coco's bowl, the cat's dish, and his own. 1 piece each. Coco slaps down her chopsticks in protest. "I'm not eating that. It tastes awful. You get it once a week and you're complaining? You think you could win those fights without it?" Coco freezes for a moment, listening to Marcus. She scrunches her nose, torn. Then she squeezes her eyes shut and forces it down. I am dying to know what that candy-like thing actually is. It isn't until I overhear Marcus and Mia talking later that I learn it's called Crystal Bee Jelly. They throw around words I don't fully understand yet, and I lift my bottle high to hide the shock on my face. This world, it seems, holds far more secrets than I had imagined. A month passes. I watch the energy bar hit full, and trigger my second evolution. 3 options again. This time I choose the Psi form evolution path. The moment my mental stat ticks up by 1, I feel time slow down around me. No, more precisely, my own thinking has suddenly accelerated. The entire past month of memories flashes through my mind at blinding speed. I'm still trying to register what's different when Mia scoops me up and sets me down on a floor spread with a large red cloth. The cloth is covered with all kinds of small objects. Following tradition, a baby's first month calls for the grab ceremony. Whatever the baby reaches for is said to foretell their future career. I kneel on the cloth, ready to grab whatever and get it over with, when suddenly, the system interface activates a new module, the class interface. As I look back at the objects on the cloth, a career label floats above each one. First, a keyboard panel. The interface labels it, content blogger, low pay, high risk of burnout death, constant harassment from followers demanding updates. I push the keyboard away and scan the rest of the cloth. The options are all over the place, some of them dangerously high risk. I crawl from one end to the other searching, until my eyes land on 3 items: Sniper, Explorer, Striker. As the 3 classes register in my mind, I think about my human-beast evolution path. Only by becoming a striker and mastering combat arts can I get the most out of my physique gains. So I scramble over on all fours to the boxing glove and pull it into my arms. I flash a bright smile. The class interface pops up, primary class, Striker loaded. The class interface is empty for now, but inside I am buzzing with excitement. Up until now, my only way to evolve has been eating enormous amounts of food, but I'm limited by how much a baby stomach can hold, which means 1 evolution per month at best. Now, with the class interface, I can learn skills on top of that, evolving and grinding at the same time. The thought alone makes me grin. After the ceremony, I start figuring out how to acquire class skills. Striker training will have to wait until I can run and jump properly. As for the class interface, the burst and agility coefficients listed there are probably only effective once built on a solid physique base. They need that foundation to function at all. Either way, the top priority right now is still boosting my physique. So for the next month, I dedicate myself entirely to drinking milk. Every day it's either breast milk or bottle after bottle of formula. Soon enough, as the energy bar keeps climbing, I hit my 3rd evolution. This time I choose human beast without hesitation. Once my physique is strong enough, a baby's body will carry the force of a tiger, capable of self-defense and deceptively harmless looking. No one would ever suspect that a baby still in diapers is actually a striker. With my physique stat now at 3, I feel raw power surge into my legs. I press both hands against the crib railing and slowly push myself upright. Mia walks into the bedroom at exactly that moment. Oh my goodness, baby stood up all by himself. She lights up with surprise. She can't believe her 2-month-old has already learned to stand. So clever. She cheers, reaching out to catch me in case I tumble off. With Mia there to catch me, I push even harder. The big family bed becomes my training ground. I start by trying to stand with no hands, legs only. After barely a dozen falls, I manage to stay upright, wobbling but standing. Once I have my balance, I try to take a step. At first, I can't quite control it. Every step ends in a fall, but each time I hit the mattress, I roll right back up, full of energy. Mia watches from the side, smiling warmly as I work at it. I keep at it for a solid half hour before fatigue sets in. When my status drops to 45%, I topple onto the mattress and I'm out cold in seconds. The 3rd evolution has brought my vocal cords to near full development. I can finally start learning to speak. What's this, baby? Lawyer. That's right, so smart. She hasn't taken me for any tests, but watching me pick up everything so fast, she becomes increasingly convinced she has a genius on her hands. Raising me is both effortless and deeply satisfying for her. The thought fills her with quiet joy. Little does she know, when she brings me to the study, I am even happier than she is. With limited access to the outside world, self-study is the only way I can currently work on class skills. But my access to phones, computers, and TV is tightly controlled by Mia. For now, my best option is to find a relevant book in the study and teach myself from there. I stand in the study and scan the shelves with wide, careful eyes. Finally, I spot one that looks right. I point at the Combat Basics manual and say slowly, 1 word at a time, book. Want book. Is this the book you want? Mia has no idea why her son wants a combat manual, but she hands it over with a smile anyway. I take it and tear it open, reading with fierce focus, going through the fundamentals and technique breakdowns. I start to get a feel for the material. The diagrams look manageable enough to copy. I nod to myself and decide to give it a go. With every punch I throw, I go back to the manual and correct the details. After a solid half hour of this, the class interface finally shows a change. Just 1 point of basic fist technique experience. But I am thrilled. It confirms that self-teaching actually works. I keep throwing punches in a frenzy of excitement until my status drops to 35%. Then everything goes dark, and I faceplant on the bed, out cold in seconds. When hunger drags me back awake, it's already 10 at night. After pushing too hard today, I down 3 full bottles of milk, before I finally let out a satisfied burp. At first, Mia takes my enormous appetite as a good sign. A healthy baby eats well. But when a tin of formula disappears in under 2 days, she starts worrying about the household budget. Even with both of them working as public school teachers with steady incomes, it's starting to strain them. I listen to Mia muttering to herself in the kitchen, talking about going back to teach in person to earn extra class hours and ease the financial pressure. I pretend not to understand, but inside I'm quietly doing the math. As I keep evolving, my food consumption is only going to increase. What happens when the family can no longer keep up? I need to figure out a way to bring in more money. It's admittedly a little early for a baby under 3 months old to be thinking about household finances, but I'll let it rest for now. Maybe a visit to the school next month will spark some ideas. The following evening, the whole family gathers for dinner. Marcus brings good news: the school has transferred him to teach an advanced class. With that position, his income will rise significantly, and his career prospects along with it. Marcus cracks open a beer at the table and drinks with a grin. It's genuinely good news for everyone. Then Mia announces she's going back to school early, to help ease the financial pressure at home. After seeing the household expense records Mia has been keeping, Marcus reluctantly agrees. Then he adds, I'll also submit an application to the Geological Survey Bureau, see if I'm lucky enough to draw another pass into the Echo Realm. Echo Realm. Pass. This is the second time I've heard those words. With the instincts of a 3-month-old, I sense it's somewhere extremely dangerous. Coco sits with a long face, quietly listening to the adult conversation. Her takeaway: her little brother eats too much, and that's why she won't have pocket money anymore. She snaps her head up and glares at me. What's the point of drinking all that milk? You just pee it out anyway. Ever heard of drinking water? I pretend not to understand and just beam at her with the most vacant smile I can manage. Then I wipe the drool from the corner of my mouth. And you have the nerve to criticize him? Mia shoots Coco an exasperated look. You load your plate with nothing but meat every meal. I keep telling you to eat some vegetables and you never listen. I need meat for strength. How else am I supposed to beat 2 classmates? For a moment the whole table erupts, and somehow the chaos makes dinner feel warmer. After a week of drilling the basics, I finally get my first taste of real combat training. My sparring partner is the family cat, Pumpkin. Ever since I started training, Pumpkin has been watching from the sidelines. Strangely, ever since my second evolution added a point of intelligence, I seem to understand what the cats are saying in their meows. Pumpkin meows at me a few times. I understand perfectly it wants to spar. I get into position. Pumpkin squares up across from me, staring me down. One boy, one cat, similar in size, matched in weight. My eyes burn with fighting spirit. The next second Pumpkin leaps, launching straight at me. I fail to hold my ground and get slammed flat on my back. Pumpkin stands on top of me, both front paws pressing on my chest. We stare at each other. The awkwardness is mutual. Pumpkin lets out a meow. Translation: you really think that's going to work? Can you even protect yourself? I never expected my first fight as a striker to end in a total knockout. After that, I throw myself into training with even more focus. By the time my 4th evolution boosts my physique again, I can now throw clean hooks and chain together smooth combos with proper footwork. I check the skill panel again. For someone barely 6 months old, I'm genuinely pleased with the progress. At this rate, I'll be a level 1 striker before I turn 1. If I grind the fist technique EXP to 100 today, there should be rewards when the skill levels up. I find myself looking forward to it. The moment I push basic fist technique to level 1, the class interface pops up with a reward notification, right on cue. 3 free attribute points. I dump all 3 into physique without a second thought. I look only slightly taller than other babies my age on the outside, but underneath the clothes, my body is genuinely built. My body fat is a bit high from all the eating, and even daily intense training hasn't carved out a 6-pack, but the energy coiled inside me already has the feel of a human beast. I can now view the progress of both evolution paths. With a physique stat of 1105, I figure reaching 30% should unlock the juvenile human beast stage. After wrapping up today's extra training, I slip to the study doorway and listen to Mia teaching an online class. She is covering a classical text called The Peach Blossom Spring. She has finished going through the text itself, and is now sharing the backstory behind it. The spring breeze drifts through the peach grove. Everything is at peace, but the Peach Blossom Spring was, in ancient times, one of the few recorded entrances to the void. Its true location is not on Earth. It lies somewhere unimaginably far away. It was connected to the peach grove through a dimensional bridge. The reason ancient people could never return is that they had not yet learned to control the dimensional bridge. Today, through National Void Entrance number 3, anyone can visit the Peach Blossom Spring with ease. I lean against the doorframe and listen quietly. So that's the void. But what exactly is the Echo Realm? After dinner, Marcus gives me a clearer answer. The void is a place where time and space are all mixed up. One step forward might land you in a completely different world. Stand still for just a few seconds, and 100 years might have passed outside. The Echo Realm is a special phenomenon within the void. It's a copy of a specific stretch of time and space. Say you spend a day at home. The void replicates that day many times over. The copy is just a copy, but everything in it is real. People from outside enter Echo Realms through passages to gather resources. Simply put, it's like running a dungeon in a game. Marcus finishes and sees me still thinking. Do you actually follow any of this? I give a serious nod, but the next second my expression freezes. Dad, what if we're the copy? Marcus looks genuinely surprised. Not only did his son follow the explanation, he's already connecting the dots on his own. Marcus laughs and explains, copied lives collapse the moment they leave their own Echo Realm. People from our world can move freely through the void, so we can't be copies. Shortly after, Marcus notices me starting my daily training. He had spotted me a while back, reading the combat manual, copying the moves as I went, working through each technique on my own. But today, just as he turns to leave, the combination I run through stops Marcus in his tracks. He turns back and fixes his eyes on me. Dad, what's wrong? I notice the strange look on his face and stop training to ask. Nothing, Marcus says, his smile a little stiff. You're picking up the techniques pretty fast. Then he nods as if making a decision. Starting tomorrow, after your sister gets home from school, I'll train both of you together. I am thrilled. Marcus is a PE teacher by profession after all. Coco, on the other hand, looks less than enthusiastic. The next evening, Marcus starts Coco on a fitness routine, then turns his attention to guiding me on combat technique. Seeing that my fist work is already past the basics, he walks me through the fundamental kicks. He He breaks each move down step by step. I follow along, copying him move by move, constantly fine-tuning the details. Gradually it begins to feel natural. Then a new interface notification appears before me. I blink, startled for a moment. Then a wave of pure excitement crashes through me. The last interface module has finally unlocked. I activate mirror mode on the spot to test it. My pupils contract and my gaze sharpens in an instant. My eyes become like a high-definition camera, locking in every detail of every move Marcus demonstrates. Watching, mirroring, correcting, my technique becomes cleaner with every repetition. Marcus starts to notice something is off about his son. Just moments ago his son still needed corrections. Small adjustments here and there. Now suddenly, every single move is flawless. Looking at his remarkably gifted son, Marcus lets out a quiet sigh. When he and Mia had decided to have a second child, they had simply hoped for a calmer child, nothing like Coco. Instead, they got a prodigy. At 1 month, fully developed vision. Crawling, standing, walking, all on his own. By 2 months, already speaking. By 3 months, running, jumping, and self-teaching combat techniques. Marcus looks up the National Prodigy Development Act and sees the 10 million yuan support grant awarded to the parents. His mind starts turning. When I find out about the 10 million grant for being recognized as a prodigy, I push Marcus to sign me up immediately. We submit the application online, but in the end, because I haven't reached the minimum age requirement of 2 years old, the application is rejected. Marcus tells me not to stress about it. A national level program has high standards. It's fine if we don't qualify, but I refuse to accept that. I have Marcus download 5 terabytes of study materials and spend my days at home grinding EXP in mirror mode with everything I've got, all for that 10 million grant. That evening, the weekly supplement time arrives. Mia takes 4 pieces of crystal bee jelly from the fridge. As she gets ready to hand them out, I speak up. Mom, can I have a little of that? Maybe because my teeth have all come in and I've been handling fish and meat fine. Mia gives me a piece of her own. The stuff really is as bad as Coco described. Mia cuts off a small piece and dissolves it in hot water, and the smell that rises is something else entirely. But for the sake of evolution, I steel myself. Face set, breath held. I down it like a shot of bitter medicine. Only once it's fully down do I dare breathe again. At first, the insect smell spreads through my mouth and nearly makes me gag. Then a wave of warmth flows down my throat, and it feels remarkable. The interface alerts me to the energy bar increase, and the number shocks me. A full piece of crystal bee jelly weighs 10 grams. I've taken less than 1 gram, and the energy bar jumps 2%. 1 gram equals an entire day's worth of formula. Food from the void really is something else. Over the next 2 weeks, I focus entirely on kicks and footwork, with mirror mode running throughout. Both my kick technique and footwork level up to 1. The 2 level ups together give me 6 free attribute points. This time I don't put them all into physique. Looking at the note in the talent interface on mirror mode, it says that for better mirroring results, mental power must be increased. So I open the interface and put all 6 points into mental. The sensation is instant, like a bucket of ice water poured over my head, cold to the bone. My scalp goes numb, the veins on my forehead bulging. My mind feels like it's being torn apart. But when I open my eyes again, the whole world looks sharper. I activate mirror mode like a test. I start mimicking Master Ginger's meows. Master Ginger tilts his head. I mirror the sound right back. His chubby face drops. The look says it all. This 2-legged creature is copying my calls, and it is deeply unimpressive. He turns and walks away. But just then, a line of text appears in my interface. After activating mirror mode and copying just a few of Master Ginger's calls, I have somehow unlocked the feline language. After half an hour of back and forth with Master Ginger, the beast tongue, feline skill gains 2 points of EXP. The trouble is, Master Ginger is not a great teacher. He cycles through the same few phrases over and over, thoroughly unenthusiastic. I wonder, if I fully evolve the basic Psi form, will I gain the ability to transmit thoughts directly? So alongside my daily training, I now have a hobby, chatting with cats. Time moves fast and summer is approaching. The spring flu outbreak has died down. Parents everywhere breathe a sigh of relief. On days when Mia doesn't have online classes, she wheels me around the neighborhood in the stroller. Her hope is that I'll get some social time with kids my own age, instead of spending every day at home talking to the feline species. She's starting to worry. I sit in the stroller and silently observe the other babies in their own strollers. Then a little girl suddenly bursts into tears. A boy follows, wailing just as loud. Whatever the reason, I find them extremely noisy. Some of the mothers notice me sitting quietly. No crying, no fussing, not even chewing my fingers. They praise Mia. Your baby is so well behaved, so sensible. If my kid were like that, I'd fall asleep smiling every night. Mia beams. Every parent loves hearing their child praised. She had told me to stay low-key outside and not speak. Otherwise, the reaction might have been even more overwhelming. Then one of the mothers speaks up. This baby's eyes look so sharp. Have you had his intelligence tested? He could be a prodigy, you know. Exactly. I've read that many prodigies show signs at 1 or 2 years old. Hearing this, Mia waves them off nervously. She is still working out what to say, when one of the mothers steps up to the stroller. She holds up a finger and asks with a bright smile, "How many is this? Answer right and Auntie will give you candy." Everyone waits for my answer. After all, for a baby barely 6 months old, to understand the question and say even a few words would be proof enough of exceptional intelligence. I ignore the curious crowd entirely and turn my face toward a stray cat crouched by the flower bed. Excited, I call out to it. The mothers stare in collective dismay. Mia, on the other hand, exhales with quiet relief. The stray turns its head at the sound, finds nothing of interest, and bolts. Still, there's no shortage of strays in this neighborhood. Next time I get the chance, I'll strike up a conversation and grind some beast tongue EXP. Ever since adding those 6 mental points, I can now learn entirely through video tutorials and self-teach the remaining combat techniques on my own. The striker class needs just 21% more EXP to level up. I feel a surge of excitement. I can't wait to find out what rewards and effects the next level brings. In the days that follow, I keep to 3 training sessions a day and watch the interface numbers constantly. 2 weeks later, heart pounding, I open the class interface. The prompt asks if I want to advance. I choose yes without hesitation. When the interface comes back into focus, the rewards from this first class level up are far more generous than I expected. Reading the description of the striker specialization, weak point strike, I feel my fingers twitch with anticipation. I reckon I now stand an even chance against Pumpkin. I allocate all 10 reward attribute points. At first I feel a burst of power exploding from within, then my arms thicken noticeably. Even the slightest flex makes the biceps pop. My mind clears, everything sharpening. Months of training and study flash through in perfect order. In a state this good, I have to go find Pumpkin and settle the score. But Pumpkin just yawns. The tone is less than welcoming. I stand there and manage an awkward smile. Pumpkin, let's spar. Pumpkin gives a little shake, the corner of its mouth curling into what looks like a cold smirk. A bad feeling creeps over me. Is this cat grumpy from being woken up? The next moment, Pumpkin lets out a cry and vanishes in a blur. It shoots straight for my feet. Pumpkin clearly expects this fight to end as quickly as the last one. But I am not the same helpless baby from a few months ago. When it makes contact, I roll with it, clean and controlled. I absorb the impact, land steady, and open up the distance between us. Pumpkin blinks. Those amber eyes fill with surprise. I stagger my feet into a proper stance, fists raised to guard my face. I take a stance for Sanda kickboxing. Let's keep going. Pumpkin blurs again. The attack comes again. The meow barrage, this time at full speed. Claws retracted, using its soft paw pads as fists. It unleashes a relentless assault. I don't meet it head on. Instead, I work my footwork, circling and waiting for an opening. Pumpkin's speed is overwhelming. On the surface, it looks completely in control, but as it leaps into the air, to end the fight with one decisive pounce, I activate weak point strike and snap a high kick. It drives straight at Pumpkin's underbelly. My foot is nearly there when Pumpkin twists midair and forces a change of direction. It lands on the sofa beside us. It shakes its head, amber eyes wide with disbelief. The two-legged creature actually pushed it back. I drop onto the sofa beside it, breathing hard. The fight lasted only a few minutes, but the level of focus I held throughout has drained me completely. I checked the EXP gain on the interface. That fight was worth a full hour of intense training. I turned to Pumpkin with a hopeful look. So, can we do this again sometime? As if acknowledging my potential, Pumpkin's manner softens considerably. It meows quietly in reply. I run over to Pumpkin and clasp my hands together in a respectful bow of thanks. Time flies. By the time I am 9 months old, I stand 87 centimeters tall, the size of an average 2-year-old. In terms of physical capability, I passed the teenage benchmark long ago. Parents in this world place enormous importance on child development, and with Crystal Bee Jelly available, many children develop at a remarkable pace. A 1-year-old who walks and feeds themselves is nothing unusual here. One day I carry a can of sparkling water over to Coco. She spots me coming and narrows her eyes immediately. What do you want? This is for you. I hold out the can. Will you be my sparring partner? Coco stares at me, certain she heard wrong. Sure, the little one has been growing fast, but she's 122 centimeters tall, a full head taller than him. Asking her to spar? That's basically asking to get wrecked. But looking at those pleading little eyes, something in her stirs, and her fists are starting to itch. 1 minute of negotiation later, the two of us shut the bedroom door. Coco cracks her knuckles with an evil grin. We agreed. If I hurt you, no crying and absolutely no telling mom. Got it. I won't say a word. I push off my left foot and charge. At first, Coco doesn't take me seriously at all. She lines up a kick to send me flying back, but I sidestep quickly and dodge it clean. At the same moment, I grab her leg, drop my weight forward, and drive my head hard into her stomach. Oof! Coco loses her balance and crashes onto the bed. She scrambles back up and stares at me with wide eyes. The fall itself didn't hurt much, but the shock to her mind is enormous. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. This kid hasn't even been alive a full year yet, has he? She thinks hard, trying to find a rational explanation. It comes to her quickly. Mom had only brought him home from the hospital. Nobody actually witnessed the birth. There is only one conclusion. She spins around, bursts out of the bedroom, and shouts at the top of her lungs, "Mom, you've been deceived. He's not your real son." Out in the living room, Coco runs around looking for Mia, hollering the whole time, Mom, you've been tricked. He's not yours. He's an alien creature sent to destroy the Earth." I stand in the doorway with a bright smile, thoroughly enjoying what's unfolding. Sure enough, 5 minutes later, Mia wraps up her online class. The first thing she does is grab Coco by the ear and give her a thorough scolding. "If you ever make this kind of racket again and disturb my class, there will be no meat for you at dinner." Coco rubs her ear, eyes filled with tragic outrage. Mom is going to end up like those side characters in movies who never believe the hero and get eaten by the alien creature in the end. Once Mia pieces together what actually happened. She tells Marcus the moment he's back. And so, Coco and I have our second round. This time, Coco comes at me with everything she has, determined to expose the alien creature standing in front of her. I stay calm, reading each move and countering cleanly. I look for the gaps in her technique. This kind of high-intensity sparring grinds the XP at a remarkable rate, and having absorbed 5 terabytes of study material, I carry myself like a seasoned striker. Evasion, blocking, counters, even disrupting an opponent's rhythm, all of it is second nature now. Coco, on the other hand, has trained in combat for a few years, but her unwillingness to study deeply has left her technique rough around the edges. The moment I see her overcommit to a kick and leave herself open, I dart in low and execute a clean leg sweep takedown, with the weak point strike bonus behind it. Even the carpet doesn't save her. Coco hits the ground wincing. She lies there gasping, staring blankly at the ceiling. It's over, she breathes. The alien creature is going to take over the earth. My rate of improvement surpasses Marcus's expectations once again. It seems I'm getting very close to qualifying for the Prodigy Selection program. Marcus makes 2 extra dishes to celebrate, hoping to give both of us a proper boost. For the next 2 months of summer break, the gold medal sparring partner, Coco, officially reports for duty. Her singular goal is to beat me and expose my true alien form. I welcome every challenge she throws at me, because fighting in mirror mode grinds XP at a speed nothing else can match. Time slips by. October arrives, and with it, my first birthday since being reborn. Marcus and Mia clap and sing happy birthday at the table. Mia gives Coco's ear a little pinch, and she joins in, humming along half-heartedly. I sit in my chair, holding my bottle, raising it as if it were a toast and downing it in one. I close my eyes, make a wish, and blow out every candle in one breath. For gifts, Coco uses her pocket money to buy an Alien 5 movie art book and slides it across to me. She points to the alien base and asks casually, "The flesh-eating flowers back home are blooming. Aren't you going back to check?" Then it's Marcus's turn. He hands me a small blue bottle. It looks like those calcium supplement drinks from commercials, but when I look at the label, it reads, Grade 1 Essence Tonic. Marcus grins. Drink it straight. It absorbs better than Crystal Bee jelly. I thank everyone and tip the tonic back in one go. A cool, refreshing wave spreads from my throat all the way to my toes. The energy bar delivers 2 direct attribute points. Then several more notifications pop up in rapid succession. A full year of grinding, and my first major achievement is finally unlocked. With 30 points of physique, I am now on par with a physically active adult male. I open the detailed reward description. Among all my current talent skill specializations, Beast Form provides the greatest combat power boost. Then I check the passive talent reward, Predator. It's a non-combat talent, can't be leveled up but stacks infinitely. Going forward, every day of training combined with the Predator talent means faster recovery from fatigue and physical damage. I close the reward screen and fix my eyes on the next evolution milestone. 30 points equals a healthy adult, so 100 points must be the absolute human limit. And as for the ultimate form, could that be something beyond the limits of the human body entirely? But right now, one word appears in my mind, extraordinary. With a new goal ahead, I feel driven all over again. The first milestone is done. How far can the second really be? That night, I run a full test of my evolved physical capabilities. Marcus stands to the side, recording everything on his phone, whether it's strength, jumping, or the 100-meter sprint, or the intelligence tests that follow. Every result comes in well above the threshold for the Prodigy Selection program. Marcus can hardly believe his son has just turned 1, and already cleared every requirement for the program. He uploads all the application materials right then and there. We call Mia over and tell her the application went through. The family settles in with quiet anticipation, waiting for the official response. Just when we all assume the office is closed for the day and we'll have to wait until tomorrow, there's a knock at the door. Is Mr. Marcus home? I'm with the registration office. At the same moment, an email arrives in the inbox. It confirms that a representative is at the door. They came to us directly. That was fast. Marcus verifies the visitor's credentials before letting him in. The visitor is Director Grant, Deputy Director of the Provincial Department of Education's Advanced Talent Development Division. Once the door is closed, Director Grant goes through the application details with Marcus and Mia, then asks where young Kai is. Marcus takes a breath and opens the bedroom door. His kid has kept a low profile long enough. It's time to show what he's made of. Director Grant looks at the child before him, quick on his feet, articulate in speech, then glances back down at the file in his hands, 1-year-old. He has seen more than his share of gifted children and thought he was prepared. But right now, the world feels slightly absurd. He asks me several questions, confirming my identity and my intent to apply. Then he proceeds to register my details. Once the registration is complete, he reaches into his case and produces a smartwatch with an electronic display. He asks me to put it on, but the moment I do, I find I can't take it off. Director Grant smiles and explains, the force lock is a safety measure. Once the selection is over, it will release automatically, and it will be collected back afterward. He finishes speaking and glances over at the shoe cabinet by the entrance. Pumpkin, the calico cat, is hiding behind it and watching the stranger. When the stranger looks directly at her, she freezes in surprise. Director Grant adds, you mentioned the child has the ability to communicate with cats. You're welcome to bring this bonded pet along. It may come in useful during the selection. For the 10 million grant, Mia takes me on a private jet through the night, heading to the Prodigy Selection Base in Jingzhou. 2 hours later, we arrive. We're brought to a dormitory, building in darkness. Lights out, I assume. Everyone should be asleep. But the moment we step inside, we find 2 kids, maybe 6 or 7, facing each other in a standoff. The tension is palpable. One stands with hands on hips, holding a bottle of water, and declares smugly, "I can pee 5 meters, can you?" The other kid scrunches up his mouth and slurps 2 long streams of snot right back up into his nose. Chewing with satisfaction, he fires back, "I can eat snot raw, 2 at a time, beat that." 2 little geniuses showcasing their talents. Neither can top the other. It's a draw. In the middle of their standoff, they notice several people have entered the building. Both immediately make a run for it. Director Grant calls out quickly, "Wait, where's Dr. Wendy?" "Went out somewhere." And they're gone before the sentence is finished. I take in the surroundings. The outer perimeter is a military base. The inside is the Prodigy Selection Base. Nesting the selection facility inside a military installation is a smart way to seal off outside threats. Director Grant takes out his phone and is about to call someone to meet us, when a young woman in gold-rimmed glasses walks toward us with a folder in hand. She greets Director Grant as she approaches. "Director Grant, you've brought the base quite a surprise this time. 15 years of the Prodigy program, and today marks the first time we've seen an applicant who's just turned 1. Director Grant shakes her hand quickly. "Dr. Wendy, you're too kind, but this child really is something different. Is that so? Then I'll be watching very closely." Dr. Wendy's gaze drops to me. I look up and read the name tag on her coat, Dr. Wendy, Institute for Extraordinary Traits. Dr. Wendy exchanges a few words with Mia, then turns to me. "Is there anything you need, Kai?" She notices me still staring at her name tag. She laughs. "Hungry for milk?" "Sorry, I don't have any." I answer flatly. "I eat regular food now." She scoops me up with ease and pinches my cheek. Apparently satisfied with the texture, she glances over at Mia. "He's adorable. Can I give him a kiss?" "Of course, go right ahead. He loves that sort of thing." "Loves it? Since when? Who gave permission for go right ahead?" Before I can protest, Dr. Wendy plants several kisses on me and leaves my face covered in lip prints. Dr. Wendy then leads us to our assigned quarters. It's a fully equipped apartment, comfortable enough to feel like home. "Get some rest. The assessment process starts tomorrow." She hands Mia an access card and leaves. We've barely gotten settled when there's a knock at the door. Mia opens it and goes speechless. 2 or 3 dozen children are crammed in the doorway, all craning their necks to peer inside. "We heard a 1-year-old freak showed up." Mia steps aside, half amused and half exasperated, and gestures for me to come meet my competition. I walk over, take one look, and say, "It's this late. Don't you all sleep?" "We were sleeping until these 2 woke everyone up." They point to the 2 ringleaders. Sure enough, the 5-meter P kid and the snot eater. Seeing that the one talking to them really is this young, they fire off questions with excitement. "Do you wear split pants or diapers? Do you cry when you're hungry? Do you fight? If I hit you, will you cry for your mom?" That last question catches my attention. I look at the boy in suspenders who asked it and give a slow, meaningful smile. "You'll find out." The next morning, the base hospital runs blood tests, urine tests, and hair sample analysis on me. Every procedure they have, I go through. Then, following Dr. Wendy's instructions, I interact with the smartwatch, and an information box pops up on the screen. Dr. Wendy explains, "The potential score is the core metric that determines whether you pass the selection. Every action you take here is part of the assessment. We're looking for children with high potential scores." I nod to show I understand, then confirm. Currently, 126 candidates are taking part in the selection. The moment I step out of the hospital, the watch beeps. I raise my wrist. I've gained 1 point already. "The potential score is assessed by a dedicated evaluation team," Dr. Wendy explains. "Don't overthink it. Just live and learn here the way you normally would." I nod. Understood. Now I have a clear picture. My normal routine is eat, sleep, and grind XP. So I'll just let them watch. The watch beeps again. I had assumed the selection would be exams, physical tests, maybe a fight in the ring. But the first thing on the schedule is a class. When I see the name of the subject, I'm immediately excited. Today's lesson, the mind cultivation method. In a small classroom, a white-haired teacher walks through the basics of the mind cultivation method. All 4 students in the room arrived recently, and the other 3 are already familiar faces: the 5-meter P kid, the snot eater, and the kid in suspenders. The 3 of them are barely paying attention. Every so often they turn and make faces at me. "He's this small. Can he even understand any of this?" The snot eater mutters under his breath. The teacher glances at him and continues, "The foundation of mental cultivation is meditation. Combined with a special compound, the mind can break free from the body during meditation and travel through higher dimensional realms." After finishing the explanation of meditation, the teacher produces 4 vials, 1 for each of us. I glance at the label on mine, uncork it, and drink it slowly. It's actually quite sweet. The next moment I feel weightless, like my whole body has lifted off the ground. My senses begin to blur. Following the teacher's guidance, my consciousness drifts and I quickly find myself in a place of deep, absolute darkness. In this meditative journey, the rule is simple: keep moving forward, don't stop. It sounds easy, but after a while, the pressure builds. It's like walking forward with your eyes closed. Even knowing there's nothing in the way, going far is harder than it sounds. You can only go so far before the urge to open your eyes becomes unbearable. But right now, I am deep in meditation, and the only thing I can do is feel my way forward. 8 minutes in, the 5-meter P kid and the snot eater are sweating and breathing hard. They pull out of the meditation. The kid in suspenders lasts a bit longer, 10 minutes before he opens his eyes. He looks at the other 2 with a tired but triumphant grin. Then all 3 turn to look at me. Their expressions shift to disbelief. Can this tiny kid really have stronger mental endurance than they do? The 3 of them file out of the classroom with strange looks on their faces. The moment they're outside, they can't help themselves. "Come look at the freak!" Before long, a group of kids come running over one by one, pressing themselves against the outside of the classroom windowsill. "No way he fell asleep, right?" "Yeah, right. You really think anyone could sleep after drinking that focus serum?" "Yeah, right. Why would I pull my own leg?" While they buzz with chatter, Outside, I slowly open my eyes inside the classroom. I check my watch. Only 14 minutes have passed, yet somehow it feels like I've lived through 3 full days and nights. I let out a quiet sigh and pull up my stat panel. The moment I see the numbers, my mood lifts. This is the first time my mental stats have grown through actual training. Looks like coming to this place was the right call. Since arriving at the academy, I've quickly finished my very first round of lessons. Looking at the names of the courses still ahead, I feel a rush of excitement. Ever since I was born, my mental stats have only grown through panel reward points. I never imagined there were actual techniques for training the mind. Just as I finish one session and prepare to go again, Professor Zhou steps in to stop me. After class, I glance at the information on my watch screen. I murmur to myself, is it really this easy to rack up potential points? What I don't know yet, though, is that in this mental training session, only Dunno also earned 1 point. Squirt and Booger scored nothing at all. In the second class, Professor Zhou explains what happens as meditation training progresses. The stronger your mind becomes, the greater your chance of touching the dimensional law. To make it easier to grasp, he draws 2 points, A and B, on a blank sheet of paper. Everyone knows the shortest path between 2 points is a straight line. But what happens when you move into a higher dimension? He folds the paper in half, bringing A and B together. An ordinary person has to travel 10 centimeters to get from A to B, he says. But an awakened who commands the dimensional law can arrive in an instant. We call this ability dimensional shift. When the morning classes wrap up, my head is spinning. Just 2 lessons and my entire view of the world has been turned upside down. This really is a remarkable world. Lunch is free with a face scan. After loading up on meat, I ask the cafeteria lady to cut me 2 pieces of honeyworm gel. When Squirt hears I eat this stuff every day, his eyes go wide with shock. Are you broken or something? How do you eat this every single day? He watches as I mash the gel into water. A sharp, pungent smell drifts through the air. Squirt, sitting right across from me, nearly gags. You get used to it, I say, completely unbothered. I give it a stir and down the whole thing in one go. My calm reaction gets under everyone's skin. Nobody believes a 1-year-old can handle this, so they copy me. 1 sip and they all gag without exception. After lunch, I head back to the dorm and check my watch screen. A candidate with the username City Peppa has put together a daily average score leaderboard. 98 candidates are ranked. With 5 points earned in half a day, my reference rank sits at 45th. The top spot belongs to One Punch, with a daily average of 11.7. That afternoon, a bus takes everyone over to the training hall. The moment I see the wide open floor and the full range of equipment, my eyes light up and my blood starts pumping. Once I learn that training duration and intensity are entirely up to me, I head straight for the unarmed combat zone in the martial arts hall. I ignore the whispers around me and focus entirely on what Coach Hawk is teaching. I even stand up, activate mirror mode, and copy his techniques on the spot. Coach Hawk had planned to finish this section and move the kids along, but halfway through he stops dead. He stares at me with wide, disbelieving eyes. My countering technique is clean, the rhythm is smooth, clearly already at a beginner's standard. Coach Hawk finishes the lesson, then immediately asks, how old are you? How long have you been training in Sanda? Just turned 1. Been training Sanda for a few months, I guess. A kid next to me can't hold back a gasp. Started Sanda before turning 1. Am I losing my mind or is it the world? I smile shyly. Nothing much to do when you're a newborn. Just needed something to keep me busy. When Coach Hawk learns I'm almost entirely self-taught and reached this level in just a few months, he pulls out a name card and hands it to me. He gives me his word, whether you pass the selection or not. If you ever want to pursue a career as a fighter, reach out anytime. 20 minutes into training, I slip away to the bathroom during the break. But standing in front of the urinal, I make a sad discovery. It's way too high. I simply can't reach it. Meanwhile, Squirt stands in the middle of the aisle and poses a question to the kid next to him. Bet you I can hit the inside of that stall from out here. Before anyone can respond, he unzips. A sharp hiss. From the sound of the splash, it seems like he actually made it into the drain. Squirt gives his little hand a shake when he's done. This is my gift, undefeated across all of Zhongzhou. Since most of the kids here are young and their stamina is limited, they rest after only a short while. But I make the most of every moment with a professional coach. Coach Hawk is patient, pointing out the flaws in my technique. I take the chance to run through all the fundamentals. When training wraps up, I check my class panel. The pace of improvement satisfies me. As the unarmed combat sessions wind down, everyone gathers in the center of the hall. The sparring rounds are finally about to begin. Several coaches stand ringside as safety monitors. Once the rules are announced, fighters from different styles clash on the platform with real intensity. Watching fighters from so many different styles compete for the first time, I feel like I'm gaining something with every glance. With mirror mode active, every time I spot a good move, I learn it on the spot. In mirror mode, my learning speed is extraordinary. My class panel keeps updating with new numbers. After several rounds on the platform, every stand-up boxer is down and out. You're all hopeless. Time to show you how it's done. Squirt takes up a boxing stance and steps onto the platform. He calls out a wrestler. The wrestler grins and charges. Squirt closes the distance, twists at the waist, thrusts his hips, and swings his backside around. He sends the wrestler flying clean off the platform. Squirt pats his little waist and grins. I can hit 5 meters into the wind. You really think I'm scared of close range? The whole hall goes quiet. My mouth twitches. Everyone who made it into the academy has something special going on. I think about whether I should pick up stand-up striking. After weighing it up, I decide to stick with Sanda, but I should also learn some wrestling techniques to sharpen my ground game. I've been watching long enough. time for my turn. With that thought, I stand and walk up onto the platform. The moment I step up, silence falls. Nobody wants to come forward. After a long pause, reading the looks on their faces, I figure out why. After a moment's thought, I smile and say, anyone willing to trade 3 moves with me? Come see if I can even hold on. Think of it as doing me a favor. I appreciate it. That gets a reaction. 3 moves shouldn't be a disaster, and helping a little monster out means having some connection with him. Not a bad deal. I'll go. A buzz-cut boy stands up. He signals for the spar to begin. First move, I go on the offensive. My little legs push off the ground and I explode forward. But instead of hitting head-on, I circle to his side and wrap my arms around his base leg. The buzz-cut boy stays calm. He bends his knees, lowers his stance, and drops his center of gravity. In an instant, every muscle in my body locks tight. My muscles surge and my loose training clothes stretch drum-tight across my frame. I transform from a harmless little toddler into a juvenile humanoid beast. Double strength, 2.1 times the explosive force. I burst forward without warning. My head drives straight into his chest, triggering exploit strike. The buzz-cut boy can't withstand the terrifying force. He gets launched off the platform in an instant. One move. The match is over. Dead silence. Every face in the hall, kids and coaches alike, is wide with shock. I deactivate beast mode. I walk over, help the buzz-cut boy to his feet and smile. Thanks for the spar. First victory at the academy, mission complete. But before I can even enjoy the moment, a panel notification pops up. Coach Hawk, wake me when it's time to eat. The words leave my mouth and everything goes dark. I drop straight down, out cold before I hit the floor, snoring peacefully. When I wake up, I'm back in the dorm. I check my watch. My potential points have jumped up by 9. After dinner, Mia times it just right and opens her laptop. The whole family gets on a video call. Marcus's familiar face has barely appeared on screen. When the frantic slap of slippers on the floor echoes in. Me first, I miss my little brother, let me talk to him. Coco's face squeezes into the frame. Her eyes are wide with anticipation. Did you pass the selection? Did you get the prize money? Relax. Results won't come for 2 or 3 months at the earliest. I wave her off like a seasoned elder. Don't rush things. Study hard at school, behave at home, and don't wind Dad up. Got it? Got it. Coco nods along obediently, then slowly realizes something is off. Why does it feel like her little brother is lecturing her? After the call ends, I sit down to work on my homework. Since solving the problem requires middle school physics, I open up the Academy-issued tablet to make everything look reasonable. My fingers scroll rapidly as textbook pages fly past, 10 lines at a glance. With speed scan running at full power, all elementary school textbooks are finished within 2 hours. I immediately open the middle school physics textbook. As I read, I think back to the video from the homework question. An awakened freezes the water in a glass instantly, then melts and evaporates the ice just as fast. They even conjure a raging wind inside a sealed room. How do you explain that? After working through all the physics material, drawing on my mental stat of 27.1, I pin down the key concepts with ease. Temperature and heat transfer. I don't approach it with standard physics reasoning. Instead, I build a logical theory by weaving in the principles of dimensional law. After sending the email to Professor Zhou, I quickly receive his approval. Right then, a notification pops up on the tablet app. The previous top scorer, One Punch, averaged 11.7 per day. I've replaced him with a daily average of 19. The outrageous number drops and the comment section explodes. Plenty of people call it fake. Then, without warning, One Punch himself shows up in the comments. The section goes instantly quiet. You can almost feel the stunned silence radiating through every screen. So the 19 points are probably real. I scroll through the comments once and say nothing. No response needed. I open my panel and check the next target. Just 3 more stat points to go. Once the evolution milestone is reached, I'll unlock both a form reward and a trait reward, both high quality. I can't help but feel excited. What's it going to be? Now that I've fully mastered the meditation technique, my mental stat grows by 0.1% every day. Unlocking Psyche form I is now genuinely within reach. As I keep up my daily meditation, my sessions grow longer. A week later, I've gone from 14 minutes per session to 17, though I still haven't touched the dimensional law. I make a startling discovery. Without the Academy's focus serum, I can't enter a meditative state at all, so I go looking for Professor Zhou. I ask if he can cut me some slack given my age and give me a few extra bottles. He turns me down on the spot, but at least he gives me a thorough explanation. Touching the dimensional law requires not only a powerful mind and body, but extraordinary luck. Only elites whose physical and mental abilities approach the genetic ceiling of the human body are even eligible to attempt it. For some, 1 session is enough if luck is on their side. For others, 100 extra bottles of focus serum won't make any difference. Since I'm not going to touch the dimensional law anytime soon, I'll keep meditating to grind my stats. Based on what Professor Zhou has described, the physical standard for elite tier seems to match my next evolution target. After dinner, I head to the training hall as usual. The moment I walk in, I spot a boy with no hair at all. His head looks just like a hard-boiled egg. After asking around, I find out he's the One Punch from the leaderboard. Right now, Egghead is doing bench presses at 100 kilograms. He looks about 6 or 7 years old, but his muscle definition is remarkable. His shoulders and arms are already showing striations. I get started on my own squat routine. Without activating beast mode, I can squat 90 kilograms. While I'm deep in my workout, a voice comes from behind me. It's kind of a shame, honestly. I turn around, it's Egghead. What do you mean a shame? I don't quite follow. A shame you don't have an awakening trait. You know, plenty of kids in the academy are born with an awakening trait. Without much effort, they can score A rank, even S rank. You've got high potential points and great discipline, but without an awakening trait, the experts aren't likely to take notice. You might end up stuck at A rank. I don't argue, instead I smile and ask, what about you? You've got an awakening trait and an iron will. S rank is the academy's ceiling, it's not mine. I can't figure out what he's getting at, so I ask, then why are you telling me all this? He looks me straight in the eye, completely serious. If the academy doesn't rate you S rank, come work with me. I'll give you S rank treatment. 6 or 7 years old and already recruiting followers and poaching from the academy at that. I don't turn him down outright. Instead, I stand up and start loading plates onto the bar. Plate after plate goes on and the weight climbs fast. 90 kilograms, 110, 130, 150. Egghead's calm expression is gone. His eyes fill with shock. With all the plates loaded, I flash him a grin. S rank isn't my ceiling either, by the way. I hoist the 150 kilogram barbell onto my shoulders. 3 clean, textbook squats. I rack the bar with a heavy clang. Everyone in the room is stunned. Egghead stands frozen, silent, his expression turning dead serious. He's probably figured out exactly what I was trying to say. Egghead takes a long breath and gives me a nod. Then he turns and leaves without another word. I just activated beast mode to make a big statement. To avoid injury, tonight's strength session has to end early. I call over to Squirt and we head back to the dorm. But where's Booger? At this very moment in another training room, Booger is on the pull-up bar, spinning giant circles. Full 360 rotations. After a few swings, he lands and a surprising amount of snot flies off his face. He wipes the unidentified substance from his face straight into his mouth, and with a satisfied look, he mutters, pretty sure I just got stronger. Before long, a new week begins. Most of the second week's program focuses on wilderness survival. I pick up the outdoor exploration training quickly and gain a few solid skills, but even after all that, the Explorer class panel still hasn't unlocked. Either way, I need to secure the Psyche for my evolution milestone first. Everything else can wait. And just like that, everything falls into place. My purification gauge fills up again, and I earn 2 more stat points. I put both straight into mental stats. The panel flashes and rewards pop up all at once. Just like the juvenile humanoid beast reward before. 1 form, 1 trait. I immediately tap through to the full description. Being able to activate overdrive at will, I'm very happy with that. Then I check the description for the merged trait, predator reward. Just like my physical stats. My mental stats now gain bonuses to both growth rate and recovery speed. Looking over the full panel and everything I've unlocked, I feel a quiet sense of accomplishment. At the same time, I think, if both my physical and mental stats ever hit 100, I'll probably qualify to push toward becoming awakened. Doing a rough estimate, I'll aim to hit that milestone before I turn 3. Once the kids have a solid grip on the wilderness skills, lessons about the Veil begin as well. The next day, I pack up my academy-issued gear, bring Pumpkin along, and board the academy bus. After passing through a device that looks like a portal through space and time, I'm met with blue skies, white clouds, 3 suns of different sizes, howling winds, and grass that's entirely purple. We are now standing in the middle of vast open plain. Professor Joe speaks up to address everyone. Remember, your mission is to survive here for 1 month. Find valuable resources and bring them back to the starting point. If you suffer serious injury or face a threat to your life, we will pull you out, but that counts as a mission failure. From here, you're free to move as you choose. Team up, go solo, cooperate, or compete. It's all up to you. The moment he finishes, the kids scatter in every direction. With a physical stat of 30.3, my little legs carry me surprisingly fast. Pumpkin leads the way up front as we make for the trees ahead. Hey, wait up! Wait for me, come on! Halfway there, I hear a familiar voice calling from behind. Over the past few days of wilderness training, I've been using overdrive and mirror mode together. My skill progression has been blazing fast, landing me near the top of the class. Squirt, on the other hand, is a bit clumsy. A lot of the practical tasks are a struggle for him. So the moment we entered the remnant, he made up his mind to latch onto someone stronger. Sure enough, here he comes, shameless grin on his face, jogging to catch up. We've barely been running toward the trees for half a minute when Squirt lets out a sudden gasp. Pumpkin flinches at the sudden cry. I think something's wrong too and spin around. What is it? Squirt pulls out his tablet and taps around. His face falls. There's no signal out here. I had a ranked match scheduled. We're on a wilderness mission and you're thinking about games? Pumpkin turns around too. 1 person and 1 cat, both glaring at Squirt with the same irritated look. He finally looks a little sheepish and quietly stuffs the tablet back in his bag. Suddenly, I'm starting to wonder if this teammate is more liability than asset. Maybe we should split up. I'm only 1-year-old. I'd hate to slow you down. Squirt panics at that. Don't ditch me. I can actually help. I'm great at fishing. My baiting method is one of a kind. What does baiting mean? I ask, pretending not to know. You scatter some bait in the water and the fish come to you. My bait works better than anything. That gets my attention. Alright, tell me, what's your bait? Squirt grins. I just pee in the water and the fish go absolutely wild. Pee baiting. I feel something shift inside me. Not sure it's a good shift. I try once more gently. Look, I'm only 1. I'd really hold you back. We're just not a good match. No, Squirt rushes to add. I also brought my spirit beast hunting dog. He'll definitely be useful. At that, I notice a small golden retriever trailing behind us from a distance, tongue hanging out, panting as it trots along. It's a water hunting dog, incredibly fast in the water. And my brother said the remnant. The academy setup has a really low danger rating. No need to worry too much about combat. Your brother has been here? He came last year, got a rank too. I nod. Given that Squirt has useful intel about this place, I finally agree to let him join. With that settled, the two of us head into the forest together. We've barely made it into the trees when Pumpkin up ahead lets out a sharp cry. A warning. A small wild boar, purplish gray, bursts out from the undergrowth. It takes one look at us and bolts. Squirt immediately shouts, "That boar is dangerous, we have to catch it." I have Squirt and the golden retriever cover our flanks in case other boars are lurking in the shadows. Then I pull out my knife and chase after Pumpkin. A few strikes and the boar goes down. Squirt looks at the fallen boar and breathes a sigh of relief. My brother warned me about these things. Sneaky as anything. Loves ambushes. They wait until you're lying down and asleep. If your legs are apart when you sleep, it charges straight between them. I can't help but grimace. Just hearing that makes me instinctively tense up. Your sis. Wait, your brother. He's doing all right now? Yeah, fine I guess. He used to compete with me on accuracy. Doesn't do that anymore. Any tips for dealing with these things? Just remember to keep your legs together when you sleep. Squirt and I find a spot on a slope near the stream, backs to a large tree. We start building a shelter. Working together, we throw up a basic wooden structure. It's a bit drafty, but good enough for a night. I get to work on the boar with my knife, skinning, bleeding, and cutting it up. I set up the pot, boil it, and add a little salt. Before long, a whole pot of meat, broth and all, disappears into both our stomachs. The golden retriever gets a good-sized piece too. Pumpkin catches a few small creatures that look like field mice and sorts herself out. We tie the leftover meat up high in a tree to dry out. That'll last me 2 or 3 days, no question. As the sky darkens, we stretch out by the shelter entrance beside the fire. We take turns putting Pumpkin and the golden retriever on watch. Squirt and I are both asleep before long. In the middle of the night, my face starts to itch. I open my eyes and find Pumpkin licking my face. I understand immediately. Something is stealing our meat. The golden retriever has noticed too, rushing in to wake Squirt. I signal for silence. I quietly rouse Squirt and fill him in. The 4 of us, 2 kids, 1 cat, 1 dog, creep silently out of the shelter. We move toward the tree where the meat is hanging. I can just make out something climbing the tree, already close to where the meat is. Squirt grabs a rock, ready to throw. Something feels off to me. I stop him. I switch on my flashlight and aim it up at the tree. A small girl is up there, pressed flat against the branch without making a single sound. The flashlight beam snaps onto her. She stiffens, then slowly looks down. She gives a smile that's equal parts awkward and polite. You caught me. Outside the shelter entrance, Squirt glares at the girl who just tried to steal our meat. She had tried to bolt earlier. Squirt ate dirt trying to catch her but eventually managed to bring her down. Start talking. Why were you stealing our meat? The girl keeps smiling. Squirt's frustration grows. Because I had nothing to eat. She dips her head, clearly embarrassed. The blunt honesty leaves Squirt staring at her, speechless. In the firelight, I get a clear look and recognize her. It's Moth, and she's no pushover. Her daily average score consistently places her in the top 5. Your little stunt tonight disturbed our rest, and used up some of our flashlight battery. I calmly lay out the losses. Moth nods and holds out both hands, palms up. She closes her eyes. Go ahead and hit me. Why would we hit you? Squirt says, exasperated. When you steal and get caught, you get hit. Doesn't everyone know that? We're not going to hit you, but you do owe us for the losses. If you've come across any valuable resources, those work. If not, that grass weave you're wearing comes to us. Moth instinctively pulls her grass weave a little tighter, but she genuinely has nothing of value on her. Can information count as payment? I nod. Let's hear it. Moth begins to recount her day. After everyone split up, she went into the deep jungle alone. After pushing further in, she found a cave deep within the dense forest. But the moment she entered, she was attacked by a pack of razor claws. Sharp fangs, sharper claws. They hit hard. She lost her pack and fled through the valley. Unfamiliar with the terrain, she nearly got caught. At the critical moment, a towering figure, roughly 2 meters tall, flashed briefly in the depths of the valley and vanished. A deep, rumbling sound came with it. The razor claws heard it and abandoned their pursuit, turning tail and running. After getting out of the valley, she had no energy left to hunt. That's when she spotted the boar meat hanging in the tree, so she waited for nightfall and made her move. After hearing Moth's account, and combining it with what Squirt mentioned about the danger rating, I figured the 2-meter figure probably isn't something simple. Just as I'm thinking about how to verify Moth's story, Squirt says completely deadpan, I know how to tell if she's lying. He walks up to Moth. Tell the whole story again but backwards. Start from when you stole the meat and go back to the beginning. Moth looks puzzled but cooperates, narrating everything in reverse order. When she finishes, Squirt pulls me aside and murmurs, she's telling the truth. People can only lie in the order things happened. Going backwards trips up a liar every time. Where did you learn that? My dad taught me. One time he came back from a work trip and I told him I'd been studying the whole time. He made me go through everything I'd done in reverse. I lean in. And then what? Squirt's smile freezes. Then he spanked me. I walk back over to Moth. You're free to go. She nods, but her eyes won't leave the dozens of berries sitting in the pot. Then her stomach lets out a long, low growl. Thinking back on everything Moth went through today, I assess her combat ability as clearly above Squirt's, and both sides could benefit from teaming up to explore that cave. With that in mind, I grab a small handful of berries and press them into her hand. The intel you gave us was valuable. These are yours. Moth's eyes light up. She eats them in seconds. 2 mouthfuls and they're gone. Clearly nowhere near enough to fill her up. I pick my moment. Want to work together? We explore that cave as a team. Half the remaining berries are yours, plus a piece of meat. After hearing my offer, Moth hesitates. She steals a glance at the berries in the pot, fights off the temptation, and quietly says, "Thank you." Then she vanishes in an instant, sprinting off into the depths of the forest. Early the next morning, Squirt and I talk it over and agree to head for the cave as soon as possible. We pack up quickly and set off again. 2 kids, 1 cat, 1 dog. After 3 hours of hiking, we finally arrive. This is where Moth spent half her day in this miserable place. Squirt lets out a low whistle at the thorn-covered trail, then grows serious. "Careful. If the system flags us as in danger and the academy pulls us out, the mission is over." With that warning noted, I lead the way into the mountain with Pumpkin at my side. Just a few steps in, a dark shape appears ahead, exactly the Razorclaw moth described. As the apex predator of this remnant, the Razorclaw locks eyes on me, its gaze turning deadly, letting out a low growl that only a wild beast can produce. I signal Squirt to stay back and charge in with my knife. The Razorclaw clearly didn't expect something this small to come at it first. It roars and lunges with its fangs bared. Honestly, fighting a wild beast hits completely differently than sparring in a ring. The psychological pressure is on another level. I steady myself and work in sync with Pumpkin, circling the Razorclaw and reading its strength. Pumpkin leaps and darts, drawing the Razorclaw's attention. After 2 minutes, I finally spot my opening. I activate beast mode in instant. I close the gap and drive my knife hard into the Razorclaw's belly. A sharp hiss as the blade punches through its defense, triggering exploit strikes damage bonus. The Razorclaw lets out a wail and slowly crumples to the ground. First blood. Everyone is in good spirits. We rest briefly and push on. Based on Moth's description, half an hour later we find the hidden cave tucked into a corner of a low-lying hollow, but the sight stops us cold. Over 30 Razorclaws are packed together, all howling toward a single point in the hollow. Squirt's knees go weak at the sight. "Let's fall back. If they spot us, we're done." I nod and start to ease back. Then a flash of blue light bursts from inside the cave. A heavy, rhythmic pounding follows, like something enormous walking. The Razorclaws flinch back as one. I go still and stare. I finally get a clear look at the towering figure Moth described. A rust-covered iron shell robot swings its mechanical arms, driving back the Razorclaws, trying to push into the cave. At the same time, it produces sounds I can't understand. We activate the translator. The same phrase repeats over and over. "Siri Guardian bot at your service." After several failed charges, the Razorclaws realize they can't break through and slowly withdraw. The Guardian bot doesn't give chase. The heavy footsteps sound again, and the bot disappears back into the depths of the cave. "What's the plan?" Squirt asks once we've pulled back to safety. "We're going in, no question, but we do it smart. We're explorers, not a suicide squad. Since there are far too many Razorclaws to take head on, we decide to set traps and pick them off one by one. Looks like we'll need to recruit some extra hands, so Squirt and I work outside the valley, gathering trap materials, while keeping an eye out for potential allies. After a while, we hear voices arguing nearby. "I can use my snot as bait to catch fish and rabbits. What exactly can you do?" "I play basketball, and I can sing, dance, and rap." I recognize the voices immediately and burst out laughing. Looks like our backup found us. Following the plan we'd worked out, everything goes smoothly. We spent 5 or 6 days grinding down the 40+ Razorclaws in the valley. Only a handful are still standing. At that point, they finally sense the danger, and they all come charging out of the valley in a rush. With the Razorclaws blocking the entrance taken care of, the 4 of us slowly approach the cave. Then the heavy footsteps sound again. The rust-covered Guardian bot walks out once more, and again, in that same warm tone, "Siri Guardian bot at your service." Against something that can hold off a whole pack of Razorclaws alone, we don't rush. I study the bot carefully, and something Professor Zhou once said comes back to me. When you encounter a foreign civilization, don't be quick to show hostility. Communication comes first. The bot is still repeating its standard line, so I use the translator, mimic the bot's speech pattern, and respond, "I require service." The bot freezes. Its gaze locks onto me. Infant detected. Then its mechanical arms begin to twitch. One moment the arms rise as if to drive us away. The next they reach forward, as if the bot is about to pick me up. After a few minutes of this back and forth, there's a short buzz of electrical discharge, and the blue light in the bot's eyes goes dark. It stands completely rigid, frozen in place. So the lesson here is, never hesitate, never stall. Otherwise you really will crash yourself. Anyway, I step forward carefully. The bot doesn't react at all. Squirt lights up and slips in sideways past it. We switch on our flashlights. The cave runs straight, no branches, visible from end to end. Beyond a pair of wide-open metal doors, there is a small self-contained living base. At the far end, 2 bodies, a man and a woman, lean against each other. I'm taken aback. They're humanoid. I always assumed alien civilizations would look strange and alien, but through a device that resembles a camera, we learn that they were a pair of awakened with the ability to fly. Drawn by the beauty of this world, they had chosen to settle here. But one day, countless small black clouds appeared in the sky without warning. The clouds unleashed beams of destructive energy, reducing the entire world to ruin. The man and woman rushed out to help, but even as awakened, they were powerless against the black clouds. Gravely wounded, they had no choice but to retreat into the base, with no medicine capable of healing an awakened, and only a guardian bot handling basic security and care. They met their end in peace. When the recording ends, everyone is visibly shaken. Then, out of nowhere, a figure appears at the entrance. "Congratulations. In just 8 days, you've found the most valuable civilizational relic in this entire remnant." Professor Joe walks in slowly. He's scrolling through a document on his phone. "And you've broken the Academy's fastest record for doing so." Then he glances at me. "You've got quite the luck, kid. You triggered the bot's infant safety protocol. Getting past it otherwise wouldn't have been easy at all." I hold up the camera. "Professor, what were those black clouds?" The other kids lean in. Everyone wants to know. All eyes turn to him. We call them star hunters. They travel the universe preying on civilizations. Professor Zhou's expression turns grave. Whenever they locate a developed civilization, they strike, looting its resources, then blasting the planet's surface into ruin, forcing civilization to rebuild from zero. Like harvesting crops, cut one batch and wait for the next to grow. The answer lands like a weight. Has Earth been targeted by the star hunters? We don't know, but we must always be ready. He gestures to everyone in the room. This is why the Academy brought you all together. If even one of you can become a guardian of civilization, then all of our efforts will have been worth it. A month later, everyone gathers at the base camp. In this remnant survival mission, 5 candidates are eliminated. My score is the highest of everyone. My reference ranking breaks into the Academy's top 10. But the biggest surprise is that my watch has unlocked the Explorer store. All kinds of supplies are available for purchase. The moment I finish registering my profile, a notification pops up automatically in my panel. Without hesitating for a second, I tap to unlock the Explorer class I've been waiting for. A few days later, Egghead comes to say goodbye. He has passed the selection. He becomes the Academy's 27th S-rank talent in history. He tracks me down and hands me a name card. This time it's an invitation, not a recruitment pitch. I underestimated you before. Even without an awakening trait, you're more than worthy of S-rank. His apology is genuine. Whenever you get the chance, you're welcome to visit my family's company. I take the card and nod. After Egghead leaves, my ranking automatically moves up to 9th. A few days later, Moth comes to say goodbye. She thanks me. Her remnant exploration had a rough start, but she ended up scoring well, and some of the credit belongs to me. She is rated A rank in the end. After Moth leaves, my ranking climbs to 6th. By now, the legend of the 1-year-old prodigy has spread throughout the Academy. Special confidentiality measures have been put in place. From then on, I study and train almost entirely on my own. Watching Professor Zhou, he always seems to know everything. One day I take a guess and ask, "Are you an awakened, Professor?" He takes a sip of his wolfberry drink and smiles. "What do you think?" And I wonder if I'll bother guessing. I turn and walk away. Checkmate. He can only stare after me. Half a month later, it's Dunno's turn to leave the Academy. He's visibly down. He only rated C+, but Dunno isn't crushed. If anything, he's looking ahead with excitement. I'm good looking, I can sing and dance, and I can ball. I could debut as a trainee. Who knows? Maybe I'll make it big. A week later, Squirt and Booger get their ratings. Squirt scores B+. Booger gets B. Both meet the genius standard and qualify for a full package of benefits. They immediately apply for early departure to go celebrate with their families. Before they leave, the 3 of us have a meal together in the Academy cafeteria. To Dunno, Squirt and Booger raise their soda cans with solemn faces, staring at the empty seat beside them, as if Dunno had already died a hero's death. Then Booger turns to me. "You're number 1 on the board. It's either S rank or A+. Has to be." Ha! If you don't get S rank, the people running this academy are completely useless. Since passing the selection, Booger has been noticeably bolder with his words. And honestly, I've got a feeling. Give it a few years and I'll probably be the one riding your coattails. They leave me their contact details and home addresses, telling me to come visit whenever I want. Meanwhile, back in the Academy conference room, a group of evaluators is in heated debate. In 15 years, not a single S-rank candidate has been without an awakening trait, says one of the conservative evaluators. I acknowledge Kai's potential is exceptional, but without an awakening trait, the uncertainty about his future is too great. Yes, he could reach elite level in a few years, but he might also be stuck there for life. Several other conservative evaluators nod in agreement. Then a voice cuts through from the doorway. "What would any of you know?" The evaluators spin around. A white-haired elder strides in, a glass of wolfberry tea in hand. Everyone in the room stands at once. "Director!" The elder settles into the head seat and sweeps the room with his gaze. "I know exactly what's going through your heads. In the early years, we were full of hope when we rated S-rank talents. Most of them disappointed us. So you all got cautious. Scared of being held responsible. I understand it. But..." The elder's tone sharpens. "Has it occurred to anyone here that some of you might be saving those S-rank slots as favors for awakened families and being deliberately harsh on candidates from ordinary backgrounds?" The conservative evaluators go pale. Everyone insists they would never do such a thing. The elder nods. "Good, then back to the rating. The standard for S-rank is not simply to produce ordinary awakened. We want the finest Veil explorers, the ultimate guardians of civilization. That potential, I've seen it in a 1-year-old child. You think he carries unacceptable risk? I would rather take 10 times the risk than give up this one chance." A staff member signals for the vote to begin. Candidate Kai assessed under Project Apex criteria. Proposed rating, S rank. All in favor? The elder's hand goes up first. Dr. Wendy, seated at the far end of the table, raises hers too. With the senior leader willing to take the risk, most of the evaluators follow and raise their hands. At the same moment, the latest rating result leaves the conference room. A milestone, the 28th S rank in the history of Zhongzhou's Project Apex, is officially on record. When Dr. Wendy tells me I've been rated S rank, I'm not surprised. But Mia is over the moon. Over these past weeks, she's been talking with other parents and learned just how vast the gap is between rank tiers. Now her son has been rated the highest, S rank. Calling him a national treasure wouldn't be an exaggeration. Now that I've hit S rank and met the goals I'd set, it's time to go home. Dr. Wendy sends a string of characters to my watch. The Zhongzhou Prodigy Protection Act is now in effect for you. What I just sent to your watch is your safety ID. If you run into trouble, give that ID to the local authorities and you'll get the fastest possible response. An Awaken will also be assigned to watch over you closely around the clock. I nod repeatedly. That's excellent. Very reassuring. Dr. Wendy, when does the 10 million development grant come through? Don't worry, what's yours nobody can take. She hands a financial document to Mia. The development grant is mainly reimbursement-based. It'll be credited to your store account. Just make sure to get proper receipts when you spend it. The grant is confirmed. The Prodigy Protection Act is active. And now there's just one thing left. Dr. Wendy, will an Awakened be assigned as my mentor? Has that been decided? I ask, barely containing my excitement. At that, Dr. Wendy's expression shifts. She's thinking about a certain senior leader who bypassed proper procedure to claim the mentor spot first. She gives a wry smile. Should be finalized soon. You'll be notified. After signing the Project Apex commitment agreement, we board a private jet straight to Luton's North District Airport. Then a private car takes us smoothly all the way home. We've barely been home when Marcus walks in. He took time off specifically for this. I always knew my boy would make it. His face is flushed with joy. He orders a whole case of sparkling drinks for the celebration. Around 5, he goes to pick Coco up from school. Before long, the front door swings open. Coco bounces in, school uniform covered in dirt. Little brother, are you thirsty? Coco pulls a can of sparkling water from the fridge and presents it to me with both hands. Are you hungry? At dinner, Coco picks up a whole chicken leg and sets it in my bowl. Are you tired? After training, Coco brings me a towel and a drink. She even gives my shoulders a little squeeze. I close my eyes halfway and enjoy every second of it. My status in this household has reached an all-time high. Hey, where's my watch? After a minute or two of massaging, Coco's patience runs out. Her true motive finally reveals itself. Before she transforms into her natural, terrifying self, I pull up the Explorer Store app and show her the shipping status. Coco stares at the screen, eyes glazing over. The Explorer series? That's the most expensive model from Little Prodigy, and it's a limited edition. For the 2 days before the package arrives, Coco's devotion to me knows no bounds. Even Mia can barely hold back a smile. The girl has never shown this much respect to her own parents. The moment the watch arrives, the sibling loyalty card expires. But when I announce that all future meat purchases for the household will be reimbursed through my account, I've got Coco firmly back in the palm of my hand. The news of my S-rank rating has only circulated among a small circle at the top. The head official of Luton's city government pays a quiet visit to our home. When the official asks what we need, I speak up directly. I want my family kept safe. The official agrees without hesitation. A private car and security detail are arranged to take Marcus, Mia, and Coco to and from school every day. A spacious apartment in a government residential compound is also offered, rent-free and full ownership after 20 years of residence. Marcus and Mia stand there in a daze, finally realizing just how different things are now. During the move, I train every single day without a break, while waiting for my mentor assignment to be finalized. A full month passes before the email finally arrives. The name reads, Senior Professor Zhou. It's the old professor from the academy. So he really isn't awakened after all. My watch rings. Little one, I'm your mentor now. Surprised? Didn't see that coming? Here's a small goal for you. Reach elite level within 4 years. Do that and there's a bigger reward waiting. And if you don't, I'll fly to Luton personally to spank you. I wince. Somehow I don't doubt he'd actually do it. Fortunately, this goal is absolutely no challenge for me. School can wait until after you've hit elite level. As for training, just follow my arrangements. Having a mentor really does take a load off. I hang up in a good mood while waiting for the mentor. News. Coco has been my sparring partner. Every evening we practice combat together. Before I left for the academy, beating Coco still required full effort and some creativity. I had to look for every opening to overcome the size gap. Since coming back, we're evenly matched, 50-50. Coco is shaken. She's back to calling me an alien freak. A few days later, Professor Zhou calls. The training facility and your coach are all set. The entire venue is mine alone. No waiting for equipment. Whatever I want to train, whenever I want. Half an hour from home. That's the life. Soon after, the coach Professor Zhou arranged arrives. A young woman with a high ponytail. Hello, I'm your personal coach Tina. Hi Coach Tina. I rack the barbell and jog over. Despite being mentally prepared, Coach Tina can't quite stop her eye from twitching when she sees the 100-kilogram barbell. After introductions, I look over her credentials. No objections at all. We lock in the training plan going forward. I'm satisfied with everything about her. Then I ask the question, Coach Tina, what's your fee for a year? She smiles. It's not much, consider it a favor. I gave you the friends and family rate, $2 million a year. Great. I nod repeatedly. First time I've truly appreciated the value of friendship. When I tally it all up, the training facility, the personal coach, I'm already $8 million in debt. Fortunately, it's low interest and not due until I'm 18. At least it won't spiral out of control. With that much debt to my name, I throw myself into an absolutely relentless training routine. I swear I'll earn every cent back. Coach Tina is all business. Whatever I want to work on, she teaches it. From that point on, the experience points across all my skills start climbing fast. Time flies. With both mirror mode and overdrive active as a double boost. I make rapid gains every single day. When spring arrives, the season when infectious disease tends to flare up every year. I remember last spring, a serious outbreak swept through. Mia was stuck at home running online classes for her students. But I've always had a feeling it might be connected to the Awakened. So I give Professor Zhou a rough rundown and ask if there's any way to access information on Awakened-related incidents. Professor Zhou sends me a referral code, then pushes an app to my watch. but he makes one thing clear: I am not to investigate personally. I can only browse the database archives. I install the app and open it. I type in the keywords, green fly. The database pulls up several cases almost immediately. They are genuinely linked to awakened level forces. As I read through carefully, my expression grows heavy. Every single case involves a mass death outbreak. From the Black Death in medieval Europe to the Spanish flu of 1918. Every one of these notorious plague disasters carries traces of the green fly. After extensive investigation by awakened operatives overseas, the trail leads to a being of mythological origin, Beelzebub, Lord of the Flies.